answer the question. We have our speaker with us today. Afsha is available with us, who will continue the session with all of you, and myself, Bhumika, who will answer all your queries in the end of the session. Over to you, Afsha.
Thank you so much, Bhumika. Hi, everyone. As you all know, that we are conducting this webinar today for you to have an idea about the significance of studying in Australia. So I won't take too much of time. Let me start with the presentation. Okay, so I'll start with the point why to consider Australia as your destination country. So it provides you 3 to 4 years stay back options. It's quite affordable. Then the return on investment is quite high. You get a lot of job opportunities if you are choosing Australia as a destination country. Even the climatic conditions are favorable, and family visa is allowed. So that is a big weightage for Australia. So the next slide is about Australian university featured in the top 50 ranked universities in the world in the following fields. So if you're opting for these fields like arts and humanities, clinical, preclinical, and health, engineering and technology, life sciences, physical sciences, social sciences. So these fields are among the top 50 ranked universities in the world. Now, the top courses that are in demand in Australia, finance or banking or accountancy and professional accountancy, actuarial science, telecommunication, construction project management, engineering in the fields of like electrical engineering, mechanical and industrial engineering, electronics and communication, chemical engineering, civil structural, mining or metallurgy engineering, computer science and engineering in software or IT, tourism and hospitality management, business management and business data analytics, psychology, where you can aim to be a clinical psychologist, educational psychologist, organizational psychologist, or psychotherapist. Architecture, that is in high demand, like landscape architects are in high demand in Australia. Geology or geosciences or renewable energy, bioengineering, healthcare, health administration, teaching as in early childhood or special education, nursing, and agricultural sciences. Now, something good we have to announce about traveling to Australia as an international student. So, Prime Minister of Australia, Mr. Morrison, has announced that there would be no visa charges for international students that are traveling to Australia from 30th March 2022. So that's a big news. And he really likes to welcome international students to Australia. Australian federal government removed the 40-hour a fortnight cap for international students, which means that previously the students were only allowed to work for 40 hours in a fortnight, but that cap has been removed now. So you are free to work as many hours as you want. Additional post-study work rights to student pursuing any level of study. And apart from different scholarships that are being provided by Australian government or different universities, more like one more welcome grant is being offered by the universities. That is about 1,500 Australian dollar. This is offered by the University for International Students arriving for first time in 2022. And there is no quarantine or no pre-departure travel test for COVID for international students. Those who are opting for Australia as their destination country. Now, few latest changes that are being done as Australia as a study destination. Master of Postgrad graduate are eligible for 3-year 485 visa under post-study work stream. So let me tell you what is this temporary visa or 485 visa. So this is a temporary graduate visa that allows you to remain in Australia to live, study, or work after you have finished your studies. The visa has two streams: graduate work stream and post-study work stream. And the length of your stay will depend on which stream you apply for. So wet graduate are eligible for 2 years 485 visa via graduate work stream during COVID concession period starting from 1st December 2021. Requirement for graduate to nominate an occupation from the skill occupation list for graduate work stream will be removed by 1st July 2022. 485 visa expired on or after 1st February 2022. This is a very important point. So if the visa is expired, 485 visa is expired on or before 1st February 2022, then the offshore applicants, those who are unable to travel to Australia due to COVID, they can reapply for a replacement visa with the same duration as their original 485 visa from 1st July 2022. It means if you have a tenure that is still remaining on your visa for 1 year, then you can reapply for this visa and you will be getting 1 year tenure to stay there. Now, the vaccinations that are being accepted by Australian government, at least you should have at least 2 doses 14 days apart of AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Sinovac, Coronavac, Sinopharm, AstraZeneca Covishield, Moderna, Bharat Biotech Covaxin, or 1 dose of Johnson and Johnson. I hope everybody would be aware of all these vaccinations by now, since we have already experienced a long period of COVID. Now, the skill recognized graduate visa. This category is for students who are having engineering graduation from a selected institution within 2 years. They will get a grant of 1.5 plus years, like more than 1.5 years or more, depending upon the requirements. So the visa types over here are temporary graduate visa, that is post-study work stream, and the other one is temporary graduate visa for graduate work stream. Post-study work stream, the details are as follows. It applies to bachelor's, master's, doctorate, or above, having a minimum duration of 2 years of academic duration, but not lesser than 16 months. And the duration is 2 to 4 years. Age requirements are less than 35 years, and dependents are also allowed. For temporary graduate visa, graduate work stream, skills or qualification as required as per the skill occupation list. Duration is up to 18 months, and the age requirement is less than 35 years. Dependents are allowed on this visa. Now, the wage and salaries. Wages, minimum wage rate per hour is 15 to 18 Australian dollar. Minimum wage is currently 18.93 per hour to 719.20 per 38 hours a week, and that is before tax. This is regulated by Fair Work Commissions. You can find the details over using this link. We have already given the link below. Bhumika, is it possible for you to please share this link in the chat box?
Sure, we'll do that.
Thank you. And the salaries, minimum average salary is 49,000 to 55,000 Australian dollar for undergraduate. And for postgraduate, it is between 55,000 to 68,000 Australian dollars. Again, the source will be shared in the chat box. You can have a look of it and find the details over here. Now, the scholarship opportunities. Australian government really welcomes the international student in all the possible ways. So Australian government, non-profit organizations, and more educational institutions support international students with multiple scholarship schemes, financial aid, and bursaries. Student tuition fees will be considerably less when they are availing themselves of a scholarship. The scholarships are as follows. Australia Awards. This is offered by the Department of Foreign Affairs to promote education link, student knowledge, and enduring ties between Australia and their neighbors. Destination Australia. 1,000 scholarships are being offered each year to support both Australian and international students studying in regional campuses for the certification level 4 and above. And the funding is huge. That is $15,000 per up to $15,000 per student per year. Australian Government Research Training Program. This scholarship is offered for the international research students to support scholars and researchers that enhances the country's growth by the Department of Education. Australia EPIC Women in Research Fellowship. This scholarship is to support women in STEM, as the name itself suggests. So women in STEM fields who want to achieve in research and technologies, this scholarship applies to both domestic and international students, which are offered by APIC economies. Now, I'll walk you through the documentation requirements. These are the general requirements. Academic documents, official transcripts, starting from class 9 to class 12, graduation individual mark sheet, backlog, letter mandatory, and degree certificate. Official standardized test scores, IELTS or TOEFL scores. Conditional admit is possible if you meet the criteria, the minimum scores, then definitely the admission would be guaranteed. But if you're not having scores, then you can get conditional admits. Online or paper-based application, CV or resume, statement or letter of motivation, portfolio requirements. If required, then portfolio will need to be submitted. Now, I would like to walk you through undergraduate specific and postgraduate specific requirements. So for undergrad, high school certificate or 12 years of schooling, minimum 65% if you are from CBSE board. If you are from state board, then minimum requirement is 70%. Some courses such as computing and engineering has a prerequisite of maths and science program, has prerequisites physics. Now for the English proficiency test, the IELTS score, the minimum is 6.0 overall. PTE is 58, not less than 50 in any case. For postgraduate, bachelor's degree, section 1, 60%, section 2, 65%, and section 3, 70%, or first division. English proficiency requirement for postgraduate is 6.5 overall and nothing less than 6.0. For MBA programs at some universities, students need to have work experience along with their bachelor's degree, and GMAT score that should be 630 plus. Now, student visa conditions. Student visa condition 8105 compliance. Visa holder must not engage in any work in Australia before the commencement of study. Visa holder must not engage in any work more than 40 years per fortnight. That has been given a relaxation now. Fortnight means a consecutive period of 14 days commencing on Monday. However, you can work full time when work is specified as a requirement of the course, when the course is particular were entered in CRESOS. Your study of master's degree by research or doctoral degree has commenced and your visa is granted. So as I've already mentioned that the temporary relaxation of working hours, the cap has been removed, allowed to work more than 40 hours, allowed to work 40 hours for a week. Now, what role Manya plays? What is the role of Manya when you are talking to us or you are coming to us? We are providing free counseling services on course consultation and application process, assisted by professional and experienced counselors. Brainstorming session, which really helps the student to understand the career outcome and the best fitment of the universities according to the student profile. Separate editorial services that are available for student applying through Manya. So your documents will be edited, that there will be brainstorming as well as creating of the documents. Zero application fees for student applying for current intake. Overseas healthcare advice and policy payment solution. Assistant with education loan services and accommodation onshore. Appropriate financial counseling for visa requirements. So now you don't need to wait for anything. Start your journey with your test prep. So if I talk about the English proficiency test, PTE or IELTS, both are acceptable by Australian University. If you are getting enrolled for PTE, then what all things you will be, you can avail through Manya, ebook, 400-page ebook, which extensively covers all aspects of the PTE test, 200 plus item-wise test questions to cover the different question types, strategy videos, PPTs, 4 PPT videos to help reinforce the strategies required for each of the modules, tests generated in the event that students cannot complete a specific test. reports and analytics, AI evaluations, and graphical and band score representation of students' performance. For IELTS, we provide individual mock interviews followed by individual feedback for the speaking section, tips, tricks, and strategies for each module, 4 full-length mock tests with individual feedback, special guided practice sessions and hand-holding for each module, band 9 samples for writing task 1 and task 2, regular, fast track, comprehensive, and one-on-one program available. So it depends on your requirement, which program you would like to enroll for. Now, the first step for your dream career. So here is the journey that the student will go through. First is the profile assessment and enhancement. We first assess your profile, whether you are fit for the university that you're looking as your dream university. And if you are falling short for maybe by 1 or 2 parameters, then our advisors who are specialized in this field will definitely be helping you to enhance your profile to make you fit for that particular university. University application preparation that comprises of finalized essays or SOP, cover letters, letters of recommendations. Planning country, university selection and test taking. So the research and review destinations, shortlisting universities, test takings, standardized test, everything is being covered in this. Then pre-departure wrap-up, university interview, admit offers, review and selection, visa application, and your preparation for visa interviews is being done. And then you can fly to your destination country and your dream university. Thank you so much for being so patient and listening each and every word delivered by me. Now I would request all the participants to please type your questions in the Q&A tab so that Bhumika can answer your questions. Over to you, Bhumika.
Thank you so much, Afsha. It was a wonderful session delivered by you. So we have certain questions. One of the student asked that if is it possible for any student who can basically have a conditional admit? Yes, if your results are awaited, you can directly apply for the university, be it undergrad or postgrad. You can get a conditional admit from the universities. Okay, so that's not a problem. And also, if your results are awaited for the 12th or for your graduation, that's perfectly fine. You can still apply for the universities, except even at the passport level. If you don't have a passport, many of the universities do accept the applications. The most important thing in the application is the statement of purpose, which is mandatory for each university to apply for, where the major parts to be played is the SOP is why Australia, why this particular program, how does it relate to your previous studies, what are your future outcomes like short-term and long-term goals, what is the motivation to return back to your home country. It is important to write all this in the SOP. So if all your documentations are in place, process your application. You process your application. I hope that's fine. Let's take the next question. There is one student who has asked us another question. Is it possible for animation? Yes, it is possible for the animation. There are a lot of scholarships. I'll show you one single document which I've just tentatively prepared for you guys. Just have an understanding towards this document, which will give you clarity towards scholarship also. Many students are asking about the scholarships. I'll just give you an example. There are 3 universities in Melbourne. Victoria University, which gives an undergraduate scholarship of $3,000 for two terms, which is equivalent to $12,000 for 2 years. Post-graduation, they give $3,000 for the first year and $3,000 followed by the second year. Swinburne University also offers 75% scholarship on the entire fees, depending on the eligibility of a student. Deakin University also has a scholarship, which is called as Vice Chancellor Scholarship. This is international scholarship. If you have a percentage of 85, you can get to 50% tuition fee waiver for the next 2 years or 3 years, depending on whatever your duration of the program. Bachelor's is usually between 3 years to 4 years, and your master's is between 2 years. Bachelor's is 3 to 4 years. So you can get that scholarship, and there is a separate SOP application which is required for the scholarship. There's a 25% for achieving 65%. If you remember the website, the details which we mentioned here was undergraduate and postgraduate. Under the postgraduate documentation, please if you come to Manya, if you do not come to Manya, we'll give you an understanding towards this also. There is something called as one section 3 in Australian university list, which is called as a NUSER guideline. So many 65%, you may not qualify for a top institutions in Australia because your university from India in under the list of NUSER is section 2. From section 2, the universities require 70%. From section 3, which can be Chaudhary Charan Singh University. Just giving an example, lovely professional university. Some private institutions comes in section 3. So from that institution, you require 75 to qualify for any Australian university. So there are different requirements for different universities. You can get in touch with Manya, the Princeton Review, for a detailed counseling session. And if you want us to call you, please share in their details. You can just drop in a message that I want to call back. We'll arrange a call back for you tomorrow itself and ensure that all your questions have been answered. So I hope scholarship thing is clear to all of you. I'll take up the next question. Will I be eligible for masters if I have done bachelor's from distance learning? Distance learning is BCom and BA studies, and one university like Delhi University may not be eligible, not eligible from section 3. So, learning education is not fit for technical degrees. IGNOU is something available across all countries. Also, we recommend you give IELTS rather than giving a PTE. If you're only looking at Australia or New Zealand, then PTE can be a preference. I hope my voice is now audible to all of you. Is my voice audible?
Yes,
Okay,
Bhumika,
great.
it is now.
Perfect, done. So there is a student who has asked 52.99% bachelor's. I want to go for master's. Which university am I eligible? Dear Muhammad, whatever your full name is, I'm so sorry. It will depend on the university you qualify. It may not be, we can't answer until unless we have the name of the university you graduated from. And also we need to check the list. Anyone who has missed out, there's another student who's asked, in 10th, I have 71% according to my profile. That's university. See, be honest, all the students here we have to take just participants right now. I want to notify something with you. While you're doing shortlist, there are many parameters comes in place. The first parameter is the ranking of the institution. The second parameter is the funding requirement. You need to make sure that your parents meet the funding of the institutions where you plan to go and study. The stay back opportunity would be the last thing what you should look at it. Although government do provide, Australia do provide, but there are financial requirements which needs to be met. There are conditions of academic percentage which you need to meet. Then the course wise there is different ranking, and also subjective ranking is different. So you have to meet all the requirements. Then obviously you can get into the best universities like Deakin, University of Melbourne, University of New South Wales, University of Sydney, University of Western Australia, University of Adelaide. Many students should prefer regional areas, because in regional areas the PR opportunities are higher than if you're applying to Melbourne and Sydney. In Melbourne and Sydney, the chances are a little bleak to you to get a permanent residency. If you're only from engineering and IT, then yes, there are chances. But if are not from these fields, then there could be a really challenging situation in future. You may struggle out too. So there's another question: is Federation University can apply for an MBA, but some friends suggest the change of university. I am getting puzzled. See, Federation University is really good university. If your profile is good, it's one of the niche options to go for. Best part is Federation University is in Ballarat, which gives you 5 additional points when you apply for permanent residency. In entire Melbourne, there is only two universities. One is Deakin University, and one is Ballarat Institution with Federation. University of Ballarat was the former name. Now it's Federation University. So these are the only two institutions which gives you an advantage. Okay, and especially when you said it's an MBA, MBA is not available at the Geelong campus. So Ballarat and Geelong are the only two areas where you get 5 additional points. Apart from this, this is only Peninsula where you get points. Okay, and you can also stay back additional for 1 year. Can we get post work visa after doing 1 year diploma? No, you cannot get a work visa after doing 1 year diploma. Minimum duration of the course has to be 104 weeks to stay back in the country, because the study duration is 92 weeks out of 104 weeks. So you can't get a study visa. If there are 3 refusals from Canada, can I apply for a study visa in Australia? Yes, you can apply for a study visa in Australia. Some of the universities do accept. They only want your refusal letter to be submitted along with the along with the application file, where the universities will look at your application and then they will accept your application or reject your application. Although most of the universities are being accepting reason for refusal. So that's the only reason they do accept the applications from. What if my BTech score is 6.5? Am I eligible for the university? Yes, 6.5 score is eligible. That's not a problem. Mathematics is not an issue. I wanted to offer BBA. Mathematics is not required to go for a BCom or a BBA. There are a lot of options available for it. A mechanical student can do uh, okay, I missed out something. Commerce contains 3 years of degree. So is it possible? So is it possible to do? They ask 4 years degree. No, 3 years bachelor's degree is acceptable in Australia, so that's not a problem at all. You can all apply for master's program in Australia if you're looking. If you all have 3 years bachelor's degree. Approximate tuition for Australia is from $38,000 the university, the program, and also in addition to this, you get scholarship starting from 10%, can go up to 25 very easily in most of the universities. So there are many more questions. There are say about 25 questions. Just give me 1 minute. Let me just elaborate my screen. Which is the best university in Perth? In Perth, we have Edith Cowan University, we have Murdoch University. Both are very good universities. If your budget allows, then you have Curtin University and also University of Western Australia. These are the best universities in it. Is speaking module okay? I have reading 6.665 in speaking. 5 is not acceptable. You require 6.5, no band less than no band less than 6 as a individual module to apply for a visa. Only one module as 5.5 acceptable only for IT and IT programs, which is masters in IT. Certain universities do give a waiver, otherwise they don't give a waiver. So you will have to repeat. Minimum requirement for PTE is 58, no man less than 50 as a scores. Even in a higher rank university, it is 64, no man less than no man less, so sorry, no man less than 50, 54 again. So if my mom the right time to be in month of June, July, and you can also apply prior to your starting program. That's all. Qualify for any degree. From this year, I got 59 marks. I faced problem in less marks. PT is 54, no man less than 1, but 37 lakhs. Then I have more highly eligible for this any university area. That's all. Any undergraduate university is very good. That's good. Technology is really, really good. One of those. This best. Trintas is another one in Adelaide. That's also one of the scholarships as well. So you can apply to these universities if you want group of universities. May not be eligible for scholarship. Am I audible to all? तुम्हारे system में problem है. Am I audible? You can type that. Okay. Is my voice getting little better for Is my voice audible? Is my voice audible? Please let me know now. Loud and clear to everybody? Great. So sorry. I'll repeat all the questions. I'll repeat all the questions. We still have 15 minutes to go. Does the university offer conditional admits? Yes, the universities do offer conditional admits. This is the 10th, 12th score, graduation score, and also an IELTS. If you also have a passport awaited, then also you can still apply. There is a high importance given to the SOP in Australia, be it a visa SOP or an application SOP. What is the success rate of Federation University? It's highly successful. Only depends on the program and also your profile. Do not worry at all, Ajay. You are highly eligible. There is a student who's asking, pursuing BTech graduation civil engineering, my final year semester. I am looking forward for my master's degree in civil or constructional engineering. You are highly eligible and you can apply for intakes like there are 3 intakes in Australia. One is February, March. The next one is July, and the last is November. November is very limited opportunities available. There are only 9 universities majorly offering, 9 to 12 universities offering. Rest all the group of 8 universities or the top rank institution offer only 2 intakes. In Torrance University, nice university, we will not recommend Torrance University because of the visa refusal rate is very high, Kush. Really do not recommend you to apply. There are other universities better to prefer in the Adelaide location or in Sydney location. Do you need prior experience to apply for master's degree? Until unless you're applying for an MBA, you do not require any prior experience. 3 years formal education, which is a bachelor, 15 years education acceptable? Yes, it is acceptable for all IT and bachelors of masters of commerce or management studies. It's acceptable. PT mandatory or an IELTS is any one of these exams is mandatory. You can give any exam. 6.5 no ban less than 6 as a score is required. If you're giving PTE, 58 no ban less than 50. If some higher rank university, 64 no ban less than 54 is a minimum requirement. Level 1 and level 2 universities matter. Yes, they do matter. Distance learning education, not acceptable until unless you are from a section 1 university, which is Delhi University. You can come for a counseling session at Manya, any offices, or also my team can get in touch with you, and then you can clear your doubts about the eligibility requirements. I want to pursue MSc chemistry. Which one is the best university? There are many universities we can talk about in detail, like Deakin University. We have University of California, University of Curtin University, University of Queensland, University of Western Australia. You have University of New South Wales, University of Melbourne also. 0.99 bachelors, can I apply? Yes, you can apply, but there could be a foundation program given to you depending on which university you're passed out from. You do not have a mathematics. Yes, you're eligible. Bachelor's program does not have an issue with mathematics until unless you're applying for science degrees. But commerce, it's not a problem until unless you're applying for economics or mathematics or actuarial sciences, rural studies. Adil has asked, I have attempted Casper test in Masters of Teaching. Am I eligible? Yes, you're eligible. For the Victorian state, there are certain universities which will accept you. 6.5 no ban less than 6 is acceptable. 5 in any one module is not acceptable. Only 5.5 is given a waiver. And in fact, only IELTS is given a waiver with 5.5 in reading module, not any other modules. If you're giving PT and you're planning to apply for a waiver in one module, it is not acceptable by any university. Minimum score of PT, I've already told you, 58 no ban less than 50 as a minimum score. High rank university, 64 no ban less than 54. Can I apply for 100% scholarship? No, there are 100% scholarships, but it's a government scholarship and universities do give it. Only 1 or 2 options are available. Master of Hospital Management Administration, UTS, Griffith University is very, very niche to apply for this program. Data sciences and artificial intelligence is one of the best programs to apply for, but change in field is not accepted until unless you justify. Also, just to let you know, everybody, IT, computer science is a part of IT degree. So certain universities, you will find masters in information technology, which is a part of IT degree, not a computer science degree. So I hope I have answered all your questions because I do not see any new questions. Thank you for attending the session. Please let me know if you have any other questions. If I give GRE, then how is the scholarship? There is no GRE requirement at all in Australia. So you don't have to appear and none of the universities will give you an advantage giving a GRE exam. I don't think that is really helpful to you. Will Manya help in applying scholarships? Yes, Tanya, we do help you with scholarships. Manya is known for helping students with Ivy League admissions, with premium universities, top 200 rank universities, and also scholarships. We separately provide an editorial services where an editor will help you to write SOPs for scholarships as well as the admission. I am currently working as a TCS 2 years youth feedback and I have a finance technology program. Yes, you can apply if you have an experience. You can surely apply for it. Um, any scholarship for medical fields? No, there are no scholarships for any medical fields. None of the universities offer right now with exhaustive funds of the government. There are no scholarships available, for medical students, and in fact, most of the universities countries do not get any scholarships for it. Splendor in Adelaide better for Master of Teaching or Deacon? See, it all depends, Tanya, which university you want to qualify with and which location you want to go in. Both the universities are fairly good enough, and Deacon better value. That's all I would like to tell you here. Affiliators has niche program. Adelaide is a regional area, gives you an added advantage applying there for the course. I have completed my graduation, post graduation in science, 3 years work experience. I want to project management. Management you can pursue if you're changing your field, Aditi. You can surely apply for this degree. There are a lot of universities what you can apply for. Any other questions? I'll wait for another 1 minute. Please let me know. I can answer all your questions and then wind up the session. Thank you for attending the session. It was a really pleasure having each one of the student. There's one student who has asked, I have 3 refusal in Canada. Yes, you're acceptable. You just have to submit your refusal letters and give a justification, strong justification why you want to go abroad. In the SOP, as I said, you need to be very clear why you're going to Australia, why this program, what is your family background, what is the reason of return back to your home country, what are the child opportunities you will get in India. If you justify all these questions in your SOP, then there is no issues where you do not get your visas. Currently, Australia is giving a lot of importance on the visas. The application should start by July if you're planning to apply for March 2023. If you're planning for July this year, the applications are right now open. And also the government is giving visa exemptions to all students, visa fee exemptions still until you apply for March this year. Although we don't have much time, we are already on 15th. I understand why you are not applying for July. Importance of G8 colleges. Importance of G8 colleges in Australia is majorly the importance plays here is it's a research based university. So it is not that the ranking is higher, it's more on research. The government has already invested in a lot of money on the research, and Group of 8 itself, if you read on the Google, if you read on the Group of 8 website, it is research oriented universities. High importance should be given to the course ranking program. Like RMIT is really known for computer sciences, although it doesn't come in the Group of 8. But if you compare this to Monash University or RMIT, I would consider RMIT for computer science and IT for or engineering separate degrees for Monash University. So there is a big difference between Group of 8 universities and highly ranked universities in Australia. So I hope I have answered all your questions. Thank you for being patient, audience. It was a pleasure having all of you. Stay tuned for the followed session by this. And my team, if you have any more questions, our team can get in touch with you. We'll arrange a call back for all of you guys, and then we'll see if we can answer all your questions, and we can start your applications as early as possible, starting for July, November, and next year intake as well. Thank you so much, everyone. If Mandeep, I have already answered your question. Speaking 5 score is not acceptable. You will have to repeat your IELTS again. The recording, I think this is a YouTube session. You can continue the recording session there. Minimum budget for UTS University, $38,000 per annum. The rate starts from $34,000, can go up to $48,000. Without IELTS, can we get an admission in bachelor's? No, there are no exemptions given in IELTS. IELTS is a mandate for a study visa in Australia. Except UK, none of the countries are right now giving any IELTS waivers. Thank you so much for the session. We are winding up the session now. Thanks for being patient. Have a very, very good evening and wishing you a very happy Holi to all of you.